Hi guys, hold on one second. So, we are going to talk about, first of all, hello. Okay, so we're going to talk about narcissists, the one weapon they have, and the two weaknesses they have. And then we're going to talk about also financial infidelity as it pertains to narcissists. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I feel like a lot of people just talk about narcissism so much because they want you to, and I get it, it's their business. They want you to sign up to their workshop or their membership, whatever. But I just want to just give you the information. There is no sign up, there is no gotcha at the end. This is just a conversation so that you understand that number one, education about narcissism is not the same as recovery. I really would love for you to go to your local therapist, and even if you think that you can't afford it, ask them if they have some kind of a discount. There's usually clinics. There's sometimes online clinics. There's a lot of options for you. But for now, we're going to talk about narcissists, and it's very important to first talk about what is the number one weapon that a narcissist has. So first we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to go into, believe it or not, there are two weaknesses that you don't really even think about, because if you're in that trauma bond with a narcissist, or if you're having some kind of situation with them, you don't think about them as having weaknesses. I mean, maybe you do a little bit, but not to the extent that I'm going to tell you. Okay. So first let's talk about the one weapon that a narcissist has. And if you've seen my other videos, you already know this weapon, and it is empathy, your empathy. So the narcissist has this one weapon, and that is your empathy. It's your feeling sorry for them. It's your wanting, it's you seeing the person they can become. It's you seeing that potentially they are this great person, and you feel like you can fix them. You feel like if you just love them and show them love, then they will suddenly see you as a person of value. And here's where it's different. When you're with someone like that, if you're not already in some way struggling or traumatized, the minute someone is treating you horribly, you would just say, get out. But because you've already had some kind of a trauma when you were younger, because you in some way believed that you were not valuable, when the narcissist begins treating you horribly, you immediately think that you need to work harder to win their love, to get their attention, to make them feel attracted to you, to make them feel that you're worthy. And all of these things are really just your own insecurities. And the minute you learn that these are not things that you need to hold on to, that this is something that you do not need to keep in your heart and soul, that is when you are able then to turn around and to say, you know what, I'm worth more than this. I'm not playing this game anymore. If if you're not attracted to me, so what? Whatever. If you don't think I'm worthy, then don't think I'm worthy, because I know I'm worthy. I know I'm a person of value. That's what I want you to have. I want you to have that kind of attitude. And the narcissist only has power if you are giving them empathy. A lot of times, an empath, someone who identifies as an empath, will feel that they understand the narcissist, or that they can pick the narcissist out of a crowd, or that the narcissist takes their energy. And really what it is that most people who are empath are actually trauma survivors or chronic stress survivors who have not healed. And so what happens is they walk into a room, and because of whatever they've had going on in their life, they have very loose boundaries. So imagine that there's this wall around you if you're an empath, but it's very porous. So other people might have this wall around them, that cinder block, that they can open this big cinder block door and then close it up again to protect themselves. But you have a sponge around you. So you walk into a room, And even if you have the door closed, people are just kind of attaching and just getting what they need from you, getting what they need from you. And you don't have any of that resilience to be able to say, no, I don't think so. So you walk into a room and you feel the feelings because you're also taught that you have to look 2 and 3 steps ahead because you don't trust. And a lot of times, a lot of empaths will say, well, I'm an empath and I can go into a room and scan it really quickly and know what's happening. And it's like, yeah, because you've been traumatized. Because people that are not traumatized don't do that. People that are not traumatized don't walk into a room and scan the surroundings for danger. And so a traumatized person usually will develop empath qualities. And I'm not saying that if you're empath that it's a bad thing. That's your coping strategy and that's your superpower now. And that's good. But you have to be able to rein that in. You have to be able to hold that a little bit back because that is how you're going to get away from the narcissists that are out there looking for people just like you. They're looking for people with loose boundaries. They're looking for people who are going to feel sorry for them. They're looking for people that don't have cinder block, that don't have brick, that don't even have wood walls. They are looking for people with the sponges and the transparency. That's what they're looking for. So they have only one weapon, and that is your empathy. Whether you identify as an empath or not is your empathy that they can play upon. If they don't have your empathy from the beginning, or as you start to get the red flags, if you pull away instead of giving as an empath does, if you can pull away a little bit, they then will not get anything from you. They won't be getting the energy from you and they'll just leave you. But if you have been traumatized, if you are empath and you have this deep need to give and to heal, then to heal someone else, then you are going to be opening the door. So think of it this way. If I have a lot of boundaries, then the empath, or excuse me, the narcissist comes near me and I'm just then I get the red flags and I back away and they try to come towards me and they're not going to get near me. But if I'm very empath, if I'm very open, if I've had trauma, and then someone comes towards me, I'm going to open my arms because I'm a loving person, right? I'm very nice and I want everyone to heal. And so I'm going to just go like this and they get right in. And that's what I don't want you to do. You can be kind without being nice. Nice is you're sacrificing yourself. Kind is that you have boundaries and you're being kind to yourself as well as being kind to others. This is so important. And that's where I'm going to get into the second part is okay, so what are the narcissist weaknesses then? So if that's all of that and that is scary because a lot of us are very nice, right? A lot of us are very kind. We want to heal people. We want to help people. We see the beauty in everyone. So how can we even imagine that the narcissist has weaknesses? Well, there's two weaknesses that they have. And the one weakness is that they overestimate their intelligence. They overestimate themselves all of the time. So they think that they're being sneaky. They think that they're not giving off red flags. They think that the love bombing is going to work all of the time. And it doesn't always because some people see right through it. And if you can see right through it and then put that boundary up, that is a weakness that they're not going to be able to deal with. But then what's the other weakness that the narcissist might have? Well, the other weakness that the narcissist might have is that they are underestimating you. They're underestimating your intelligence, your ability to have a boundary, your ability to keep separation between your energy and their energy. So think about this. The narcissist has one weapon, and it really comes down to no matter what it is, whether it's lying, manipulating, no matter what kind of antics they do, it really comes down to your empathy. They cannot have a relationship with you without you giving something in that relationship. So that's their number one weapon is they use you against yourself. Your kindness is being used against yourself, or I should say your niceness is. So they have that, but their weaknesses outweigh their weapon, right? Because if their only true weapon is empathy, but they're overestimating themselves and underestimating you, they can't use that. It washes it right out. So let's go into now, what does a narcissist do once they get you? So say you've been kind to them, you've been nice to them, you let them in. How are they going to get to you? And so how they're going to get to you is often by financial abuse, financial infidelity. So say you're now with a narcissist, they will potentially use money for manipulation. They will use money to exert power. They will use money in a way that's hoarding. They will hoard money. You will probably not know about the money. They will also do this other thing that is where they will be very reckless with money. So they might be doing all of these things in one at once, right? So this is what it might look like in a relationship. Um, so in a relationship, it might look like they're buying a lot of stuff and you're thinking, where are they getting all of this money? This isn't good. Or they're using your money or money that you have together. But they're also like, you don't know where the money's going. So what are they doing? Now they could just be spending it on other people. They could be buying crazy stuff, or they might actually be hoarding the money in the bank and you don't have access to that account, but they're spending your money. So you have to watch there. But at the same time, they might also be using money as a power thing because they kind of have the money, right? They're hoarding it. So they might be taking care of some bills or doing some things, and all of a sudden they're just using your money, and they're using money as a power trip, as a strategy, as a way to keep you stuck. So how do you get out of that situation then? Well, it's kind of the same thing. They're underestimating you and they're overestimating themselves. I want you to get to that place where you start to think, wait a minute, I actually know that these are red flags and I know that these things are probably happening. So that's the awareness. And I don't want you to sit and look at a million different videos on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram on like 3 reasons why the narcissist, blah, blah, blah. Like I have a million videos like that. I don't even want you to watch those videos. I want you to have the awareness right now that, okay, I know this person is, I don't know if they're narcissistic or not, but they are a toxic person. And they're using my kindness as a weapon against me. And I feel stuck because they're holding money over my head. I want you at that point to have the courage and bravery to get out of that situation and get unstuck. I maybe you have to go live with a family member or someone that you trust. Even if you have children, maybe you have to move. Maybe you have to get away from this person. And then you have to have the strength to not hear their sob stories and how they're not going to hurt you again and all of that stuff, because it's going to be what you think is a roller coaster is actually head games. It's actually manipulation. It's not a roller coaster relationship. A roller coaster relationship is more like you have a problem, they have a problem, you work on it, but then you get to the next level and the roller coaster should keep going up and it should be very positive. But if your relationship is going like this, up and down, well, that's narcissistic or toxic, and it's not getting you anywhere because it's going up and then bottoming out and then going up and it goes right back to groundhog day, right? It's just going right back down. It's not going up and better and better and better, right? There's never a plateau. It's always a quagmire. So I need you to make sure that you're not abusing. Oh, let me also state there's another thing here, another layer I should mention. There's something called um, abuse, reactive abuse, RA. And reactive abuse is where you start having the behaviors of the person that's actually abusing you. And it's a really weird saying, and I don't like the saying either. I know some of you are going to say you don't like it, and it sounds very negative towards the victim. And you're right; it's not a good, but that's the term, and that's what I have to use. So reactive abuse is where you start to notice that the narcissist is doing X, Y, and Z, and you don't like it, and you start going, well, I'm going to save some money. I'm going to put money in an account, and they're not going to know about it. And now this is not the same as taking money out and squirreling it away so that you can get away. I'm talking about people that are specifically taking the money and they are specifically taking that money just to play a game. So they're taking the money out and they feel good that they have hoarded their own little nest egg, and they're also using money as a weapon. And they're also starting to buy things, and they're a part now of this up and down. because reactive abuse is where you just feel so stuck. This is where you're an animal in a corner and you're lashing out. And so you're taking on some of those behaviors because it's the only behavior that you know that is going to affect this other person. And honestly, the narcissist, if it's a narcissist, they tend to like that. So when it comes to financial abuse, financial infidelity, know that financial infidelity doesn't mean that they're actually cheating, although they might be cheating romantically or physically. But financial infidelity is just another layer of abuse. And it usually goes hand in hand with other types of abuse, emotional, neglect, physical. There's just a lot of different types of abuse that can be happening when you have that. So I want you to take inventory and really look deeply in. We've been talking about this for about 15 minutes. If you want to head to my site for a free uh, mini course, I have one, but you don't have to. You could just take what I have right here, look at the video again, take some notes, and start to make a plan to get out of that toxic relationship and into something where you are valued because you deserve to be valued. So, on that note, I'm going to get going. And if you have any questions, just go to my website and fill out my contact form and ask me a question. All right, bye.